Hey, it's Bear from the Gimpy Camper. We're here today to take a look at the SoloStove Bonfire. I've had this thing for about 6 months. I love it. The biggest drawback to it is the cost, the initial investment there. They retail for about $299. Never pay that much for it. They're always on sale for about $50 off, but it's still a lot of money. I understand that. And I'll be completely honest, I was afraid that I was throwing my money away the first time, but I couldn't believe that they said that it was virtually smoke-free. And it is. We'll get into that in a minute. What initially got me to looking at this specific fire pit is the fact that I am going to be doing a remodel of my deck soon, and I wanted something where I could put on the deck. I was going to use a propane model, but I really like wood fires, so I wanted to try to incorporate that somehow. I didn't want something that was going to be real hard to clean out. I didn't want one of the cheap ones that just sit on the deck. And I thought, we'll give this thing a try. So like I say, I've had it for about 6 months. It is a lot prettier when it first comes to you. It's stainless steel, it's all shiny stuff when it first comes, but let's face it, it's a fire pit. You know, I was initially hoping that it would stay nice and clean, but it didn't. And that's really not a surprise because you burn wood in it, right? So it's supposed to be manly, not pretty and shiny. So basically this thing, I'll put the dimensions on the screen right up here in just a second. But you know, I was afraid it'd be too small, but it's really the perfect size to take camping. Comes with a carrying case. We'll go over that. My one negative comment that I'll say about this thing is the carrying case. I like it because it helps keep the camper clean. So I usually just leave it in the camper for right now. But it's just a little too small. It's a little tight to get on and off. If they just make that thing about 3 inches bigger in diameter, I think that would be perfect. So you have a fire ring here on the top that helps direct the heat, okay? The way that this thing's made, it's double walled. Looks like a big soda can. But you have these vent holes in the bottom. You don't have them, they're around the outside edge of the bottom. There's no holes in the bottom itself. Initially, I had read some people say it was okay to put down on a wood deck. I was going to put something down underneath it when I get to that point. They recently came out with a stand, a little ring to go underneath that. And, you know, I may go with that, I may go with something else, because that little metal ring, they want about $75, $80 for, if I remember correctly. And I think it's still in the pre-order stages. But anyway, so you have this double wall here. And then, let's take this off. You have these vent holes around the top of the inside. And so the way that this works is you put your wood stuff down in here. There is a metal grate at the bottom that helps the air flow there. And so some air comes in from the bottom, but a lot of the air comes up through these sidewalls and comes out of these vent holes in the top. Whenever it starts burning really well, apparently you do get, they claim, a more complete burn, and there's usually hardly anything left in here if you let it burn all the way out. But your air comes up, and when it's real hot, like I say, the fire actually comes up through this top ring, giving it a pretty cool effect. Now, there might be quite a bit of smoke when you're first starting the fire, but after it gets good and started, you know, there's no that black smoke having to chase everybody around the campfire, that kind of stuff. It's just like a little bit of haze, so it's not bad. And that's the one thing that keeps me coming back to this thing. That, and it's pretty wind protected, it's easy to carry around, and it's built really tough. I give it a thumbs up. So let's make a fire in it. Okay guys, so it's a little bit later than what I had anticipated. My wife took off to go get some groceries from the store, and all the firewood was in the truck. We're going to try this, see how it turns out at night. Worst comes to worst, we'll reshoot it tomorrow. But we're going to do a real world test here. So with this, like I say, whenever I'm camping like this, I use a small starter log. So we're going to go ahead and start that up. I want to time this to see how long it takes to get a good fire going too. We're going to start the timer right now. We'll start the fire log here. Alright, so that's going. Now one thing about this, since it's so small, I've tried a couple of times to just start it with a torch, but you can't hold the torch at a good angle, so there's really no way around getting some good kindling going. And luckily you don't have to have it too small, but the basic fire rules still apply, so you want to try to start small and get bigger. Most of the pieces of wood that I use are going to be about this size here to kind of start with, okay? So they're pretty good chunks. It's not small tinder or anything like that. Of course, I do have the fire log going. And I'll show you some video clips during the daytime too, so you can see more of the actual smoke that it does put off. Like I say, you'll have a little bit more smoke while it's first starting up here. You just want to give it a second to kind of catch a little bit in between adding logs here. Or kindling, at least. We're not doing logs yet. Give it some breathing room there. One thing that I have thought about adding into my arsenal here is they're called micro bellows. Basically it's an antenna-like straw that you can blow through to really kind of get things started at the beginning. But as long as you have good dry firewood, like you can tell, it's starting to take off really good right now. We're just going to go ahead and add a few more of these kindling pieces on here. The trick is to get enough to get it to going good, but not kind of save some for tomorrow. Then I'm going to go ahead and put a log or two on here. Standard TP style. And I thought the dimensions might be a little bit small to start with, but it ends up being really good size. So you can see the size of that fire already, and it's not even taken off yet. The best, where it starts getting fire around the inside rings and stuff. It's just 3 minutes. So I like it. It works for me. Gets plenty hot, keeps you warm, even though it's kind of small. I'll show you a few different random clips of it in action here. And make up your mind if it's for you. Alright, so it's Monday morning, time to pack up camp. I want to just show you guys how this SoloStove packs up in the carrying case there. Like I say, it's a little bit tight. I wish they'd have made it a few inches larger in diameter. Hopefully they'll get around to that change eventually, making this a whole lot easier. But here we go. I was just going to show you guys what's left after a full night's burn here. It's not very much at all, so it's real easy to clean out. First thing I usually do is just dump this in the regular fire pit that's at the campsite. So then we flip this thing over upside down. Usually the easiest way to do it. I'm just working the edge of this bag around the bottom, which is the hardest part of all of this. After we got that in there, you put the fire ring in the top. Pull the drawstring. Throw it back in the camper.